When a woman says the date was fine, but there was no spark, what she's missing is three specific emotions from you. And it's probably the consequence of being too logical in your dates. It's something that's ruining the chances that you have with the women that you have in front of you. And here's the issue, it's not that you have to do something extra or something special or pretend that you have to be somebody that you're not in order to impress or make the woman fall in love with you. It's not about that at all. Being too logical on a date actually means the opposite. Like you're being the fake you, the nice version of you, the politically correct version of you, the one who doesn't want to offend or doesn't want to lose the opportunity that he has in front of you. So he puts a facade to hide the real person that is in there. And you become like too analytical and you become too much in your head, thinking what to say, what to do, if you're being cool or not. And again, all of that results in being too logical for the woman. And having like a stable line, no emotions, and something even worse than angering a woman, upsetting a woman, is boring her. That's one of the worst emotions that a woman can feel around you. So, again, let's go back to the concept of the three emotions that she's probably missing from you. And those are number one, fun, number two, passion, and number three, excitement or arousal. Now, when you are able to consistently transmit these emotions to the woman that you have in front of you, you're always going to be able to create that natural attraction. Now, there are some cases where there is no fit, like the woman that you have in front of you, and you are not a good fit, but you will not find it out until you start showing the real you, the person who shows emotions, not just the logical, super analytical in his head person. Because when you show that side of you, you're not exposing yourself, you're just playing it safe. And even if you connect, you don't even know if the woman likes you because you haven't shown you. So, okay, let's go back to the three emotions: fun, passion, excitement. There are pickup artists out there and people who tell you, okay, the best way is to, think what the woman is gonna like and say that, or think what type of jokes are gonna be fun to her and say those jokes in order to make her feel fun, or for arousal do this technique, this tip, this pickup line that's gonna create this reaction on the woman. And in my experience, is the completely wrong way to go about it, because again, you're operating from a very analytical, from a very in your head paradigm. I had a friend who was into pickup and into game, and one of the coaches provided him with a PDF of cheat lines that he can say when he's in front of a woman and he doesn't know what to say. So he had like a little cheat sheet that he pulled out in a date or when he met a woman in a club or in the street or whatever. Whenever he had nothing else to say, he just pulled out the sheet and started saying some of the phrases there, which were like push pulls or negs or whatever things that people teach, right? And look, I will not criticize those methods because in that time they helped me at least to start taking action. So the positive is there, but I will show you that there's a better way. Because when I was doing that, all the interactions, they could be fun for me, but it was kind of like a tedious process. And I had so many fears when I was going out there and trying to approach women, and so many blockages. And I wasn't even showing the real me. Like I didn't have that many true, genuine connections. And then I understood that I had to do something different. And I started to become more honest, more direct when I was interacting with women. I started to approach women. And the first thing that I said was, hey, I find you attractive. I want to speak with you. And before I was talking about like indirect ways of approaching her, talking about something situational of the street, or complimenting some clothes she was wearing when I didn't even care about it. But I started to become more direct, right? And I started to become more quote unquote natural when I was interacting with women. And the results I started getting were better. And the best part, I started feeling better and better. The dates that I had were just authentic, and they were just a mix, a ball of emotions, of my emotions, the girl's emotions, and we were creating a story together. Be it for something casual, which was most of the things that I had in that time, or the same when you want something else. And after experimenting a lot, I distilled the emotions that I was, feeling in those dates and in those interactions and when I was going out there in the club and approaching women into three emotions, which are the ones that I've told you: fun, passion, and arousal. If you have these three emotions, that's how a real connection can be created, and real attraction can be created with a woman. Real attraction more than connection. Yes, they're kind of similar, but I'm talking more about attraction. The girl getting out of the date and thinking, fuck, I really enjoy being with this man. Connection, I would define as something more deeper. It takes a bit more time. But attraction, she can feel that raw attraction, like, I want to be around this guy again. I want to see him again. I'm going to text him even. I'm going to reply as soon as he texts me. Those kind of reactions. So, okay, I understood those three emotions, and I understood that I had to be natural. And I understood, fuck, there are some times where I just, you know, say things which are funny to me. And the girl that I have in front of me is not the type of woman who would laugh at those jokes usually. But I'm just having such a blast that she's there's contagion. It's something contagious, right? So she's getting off those emotions as well. She's starting to feel fun. And then when I'm talking about something very passionate, something that I really care about, she's listening attentively, even if it's something completely different to what she does in her life. And even with arousal. So in moments where I really feel those emotions of arousal, I'm looking at the woman that I have in front of me in the date, right? And we've been talking for 20, 30, 40 minutes, and I notice her skin super soft, and we may, be touching our hands. And I feel that feeling of true arousal. I can feel in the eyes of the woman that she has this as well. And then when I go for the kiss, she's super receptive. And then when I invite her to my place, she's super receptive. We're sharing those emotions. It's kind of like you're creating this together, right? So, okay, let's take a look at what most guys do in the dates. And let's take a look at what I would suggest with this framework of fun, passion, and arousal. So, most guys go on a date and they have a preconceived idea of what a nice guy is, of what a man who, is generally nice and a good deal for a woman is and does, what types of jokes he makes. Not too extreme, not too little, somewhere in the middle. I just want to be, accepted. I just want to be that stable line. And again, what does that create? Boredom. Because the woman can't even feel that you're not being the real you. Second way to do it: emotional buttons, fun, passion, arousal. You go on a date and you are there literally just to enjoy and to see if there's a potential for something more. Nothing else, nothing more. And when you go at it from this paradigm, you're not going to the date, looking yourself in the mirror 10 times to make sure that everything is correct. You're just going like you're very free. You feel that your whole body relaxing because you're not there to impress anybody. You're just there to share, to enjoy, and again, to filter and see if there's a potential for more. And when you go through this lens, what happens is that you show more of the real you. And I don't really like to use the word like the real you because that assumes that we're something fixed that you can change, la la la. I'm talking about the person that you are in that moment. So right now it's January 2018, 2026. I'm a certain type of person at this moment, and When I meet somebody, I show that part of me, the qualities that I have. And it's certain jokes that you make that if you had this facade of being too logical, you wouldn't make. And in those jokes, you show part of your personality. So, okay, he's willing to joke about this topic. And he says this type of joke, that type of joke. And then passion, which is the second emotional button. Oh, he talks about this topic. He doesn't give a fuck whether it's something that the woman is going to be super excited to talk about or not. He talks about it because he genuinely feels that passion. I'll give you an example that I've given in all the videos. The first date that I had with my current girlfriend, we were sitting in a restaurant having lunch, and we started talking about health stuff. And I shared, yeah, I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I'm quite obsessive with my health, taking care of myself. And I explained that I go to the gym every day, and I even pulled out, this is what I do for my macros, and this is the type of food that I eat. So we started talking about this topic, right? And all the things that we did that I will not go into all the details, right, on every single part of the date. But what I want to share is that the three elements were in there. And when you genuinely go into the date and you remember, oh fuck, these are the tools that I have to make this day enjoyable for me. So I have fun, we're laughing, we're having a great time. Then we have moments of passion, like, okay, I'm talking about the things that are interesting to me. And the woman does the same because we're also mirrors as humans. Whatever the person in front of us does, we kind of want to reciprocate. And this is the basis of the emotional buttons, which is when you start having fun, the person in front of you wants to start to have fun as well. When you feel passion, the person in front of you wants to feel passion as well. When you feel arousal, the person in front of you starts to feel that arousal as well. Even if it sounds crazy, I know that it sounds crazy what I'm talking about here, but it's actually true. Think about it. When you were little and somebody in your class, let's say a friend, you're in the middle of a lecture and he starts laughing and looking at you, you didn't even know what he was laughing about, but you start to feel that uncontrollable feeling of fuck, I want to laugh, but I know that we're going to get in trouble if we laugh in the middle of a lecture. And you do it, and maybe both of you get out of the class, right? The same with yawning. So when somebody yawns around you, you kind of want to yawn as well. Why? Because that emotion is contagious, which is tiredness. So it's that same concept applied here. And again, we're talking about people are mirrors. Example of these can be, I was some time ago listening to a Joe Rogan podcast, and the guest, which was the writer of the book Fight Club, which then was made into a movie. I don't remember the name of the author, unfortunately. I will actually look it up right now. Oh yeah, Chuck Palahniuk. I wanted to say the name because to give credit. But he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he said, the best way to have somebody open up to you is to share something about yourself. And funny enough, he started sharing something about himself. And then Joe Rogan started talking about his daughter, which he very rarely does, And you could see it in real time, the mirror happening. And that's why this author liked to, create this book, because when he shares something about, this story, then all the men come out and share their stories, and that's how humans actually work, right? So if you want the woman that you have in front of you to be the real her, to be showing not a facade, a bullshit, just bullshit superficial hair, but the real hair, well, you better start showing the real you. And that's the power of the emotional buttons. You accomplish two things. Number one is having an amazing fucking time together because it's fun. It's more fun than talking about some bullshit that you don't care about. And number two is that you filter, both you and the woman that you have in front of you. You filter because you're showing the real you, and you can see if there's a match or if there is no match. But if both of you are playing a fucking character, then you don't even know the woman that you are on a date with. How are you going to filter? And the same for her. So again, being too logical is ruining your dates because you're just playing a character, number one, and that gets the girl bored and not attracted to you. And number two, because if you want to filter for a long-term partner, you're not going to be able to do that unless you start showing the real you. That's it for today's video. I just wanted to, give you this reminder. If you have some dates lined up, just go on a date, all the body, super relaxed. I just want to enjoy. Oh yeah, I'm going to remember 3 emotions: fun, passion, arousal. Just enjoy, just have fun, and filter for the type of woman that you want long term. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. And if you want help in this area, you can go to armengaribian.com, which is my website. You will find all the information that you need there. I'll see you on the next one.